Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to cut through the noise, break down the essentials, and really make complex ideas click for you. And today, we're jumping straight into something that, well, frankly, keeps me up at night sometimes. It's the sheer amount, the volume of digital data we're all creating. Try to picture this. Back in 2021, the world generated something like 79 zettabytes of data.
79. It's hard to even wrap your head around that number.
Exactly. And the projection for 2025, it's said to explode past 180 zettabytes. It's just this unbelievable ocean of information. And, it forces you to ask a pretty uncomfortable question, doesn't it? In that huge sea of data, who actually owns your stuff? We've all been drawn in by the convenience. I mean, let's be honest, iCloud, Google Drive, Dropbox.
Oh, yeah. Seamless.
They just work,
Yeah.
right? They fit into our lives so easily. But that ease, that incredible convenience, it comes with this hidden cost, one many of us don't really stop to think about. We're basically renting digital space. We're relying on these third-party giants, trying to figure out their opaque policies.
And just hoping, really.
Yeah, just trusting that these massive systems won't, fail, or even worse, decide one day to just lock you out. It's this deep dependency we often don't even examine.
And that dependency, that lack of examination, that's really the heart of today's deep dive. Our mission here is to dig into a really powerful approach to taking back your digital autonomy.
Okay.
We're talking about actual privacy, real financial independence in your digital sphere, building infrastructure that you control, and importantly, a solid defense against all this digital misinformation we're seeing.
Right.
And we'll be using something called Merka as our main case study. It represents what we're calling the sovereign model. The goal really is for you listening to understand why having your own digital safe, your personal fortress for your data, is more critical now than maybe ever before.
Okay, so let's really unpack this uncomfortable truth then about who owns the data.
Yeah.
Because for the person who created Merka, it wasn't just theoretical, right? It started with a pretty painful personal moment. Can you tell us about that? Because I think that feeling of digital vulnerability, a lot of people might connect with that.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was a few years back. The founder tried to do what sounds simple enough of file migration, something lots of us do, moving files between cloud services maybe.
Sure, happens all the time.
But the result was, well, devastating. A silent, irreversible loss. Thousands of files lost their timestamps. Critical metadata, gone. Folder structures, completely messed up.
Oh, wow.
And some files just, poof, vanished without a trace. No error messages, no logs, no audit trails, just gone, like a silent deletion of digital history.
That's chilling, and it really hits home this point, this stark realization that came out of it.
It really did. The takeaway was just crystal clear. If your data can be silently altered or lost without your consent, you never actually owned it. And that just throws into sharp relief this critical lack of digital trust that we often operate under without even realizing it. When your most valuable digital your photos, documents, whatever, are totally at the mercy of some third party with no real control or verifiable proof on your end, well, the idea of ownership gets pretty weak, doesn't it?
And this ties perfectly into an analogy the creator uses, comparing financial autonomy and data autonomy. Makes so much sense. We kind of get that true financial independence often means removing trusted third parties where you can, right? Controlling your own money. So why should our personal data be any different? Our family photos, our crucial documents, basically our entire digital existence.
Exactly right. That's the fundamental principle Merka was built on. It came from this deep conviction that you should be able to run your own infrastructure to guarantee true ownership, true autonomy over all your digital assets. And it's meant to be practical, not just some abstract idea. It brings together several key pieces.
Like what?
Well, you've got physical ownership of the hardware itself, genuine data autonomy. Your data lives with you, period. Financial privacy is baked in, verifiable local state, so you know your data is what it should be, and even direct physical control over the live secrets protecting everything.
So it's really aiming for total digital independence.
Precisely.
Okay, so building this digital safe, it sounds potentially really complex.
Yeah.
How did Merka approach the architecture to make sure you get that control and resilience right from the start? Let's talk hardware first.
Yeah.
What's the physical setup like?
Yeah, it's designed to be pretty robust, but also, not intrusive. Merka typically runs on a cluster of these compact, small form factor machines.
Okay.
Think quiet, efficient little boxes you could have in your home or office without really noticing them. And crucially, they're teamed up with a dedicated secure device. That's just for handling the really critical secrets.
And the operating system. You mentioned it's different from, say, Windows or Mac OS. You called it Immutable and secure. What does that practically mean for someone using it?
Yeah, that's a really key difference. An immutable OS means it's built to be incredibly stable, very predictable.
Like it doesn't change unexpectedly.
Exactly. Think of it like a perfectly tuned machine where all the core parts are locked down.
Hmm.
You don't have the usual chaos of software updates suddenly breaking things or weird conflicts making your data act strangely. It manages its own state consistently, declaratively, so it's far more reliable and inherently secure. It avoids those fragile package managers that often cause problems and open up security holes in traditional systems. It's really built to just work reliably.
Makes sense. And for all that important data, you absolutely need redundancy, right? That's key. How does Merka tackle storage and backups to make sure you can actually recover from a disaster?
Oh, it's fundamental. Your data isn't just sitting on one hard drive waiting for it to fail.
Right.
It's distributed robustly, redundantly across multiple machines in your cluster. And for that ultimate backup safety net, Merka uses the gold standard, the 3-2-1 backup strategy.
Okay, remind us what that is.
Sure. It means 3 copies of your data stored on at least 2 different types of media, with one of those copies stored remotely, off-site.
Gotcha. 3, 2, 1.
But here's the critical bit, the part lots of people skip. Merka really emphasizes testing your recovery periodically.
Ah, like a fire drill.
Exactly like a fire drill. You need to know your plan actually works before the fire. So it's like having digital insurance, but you're the one holding the policy and verifying it works. No more just crossing your fingers and hoping some giant company didn't lose your vacation photos.
That's a fantastic way to put it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's shift gears slightly to something super important, but maybe less obvious. Metadata. We talk a lot about privacy, but why is this idea of metadata resilience in Merka so vital? What's the problem it's solving?
Yeah, this touches on a really subtle but pretty profound vulnerability in how we usually use cloud services. Metadata, all that hidden info like where and when a photo was taken or who created a document and when.
The data about the data.
Precisely. That's often the stuff big tech companies are most interested in processing and analyzing. When that metadata is up in the cloud, that rich context is totally out of your hands, and it's often what gets silently stripped away or altered or exposed without you knowing. Merka's metadata resilience is about bringing that home. It handles things like fully private local facial recognition and image indexing for your photos, local document indexing, even local financial transaction indexing.
And the key is local.
Absolutely. All done without making any public API calls.
Okay.
Zero. So your private information and all that crucial context surrounding it stays entirely under your control. It preserves your privacy in a way cloud services fundamentally can't.
Okay, so we're building this really secure system locally, but how does Merka push the security envelope even further, beyond just basic encryption? I heard you mention something called a root vault architecture. Can you unpack that a bit?
Sure. Think of it like a super high security bank vault, but for your digital keys. And it has 2 distinct layers.
Okay, 2 layers.
First, you have the root secure device. This holds the absolute crown, jewels, the master secrets, the keys needed to unseal everything else, the keys to bootstrap the whole system. This is the deepest, most protected layer, physically and logically separate.
Right, the core.
Then there's an intermediate secure layer. This manages the more day-to-day application secrets needed while the system is running. The crucial part is the strict separation, both physical and logical, between these layers. It's security designed in from the ground up, making it incredibly difficult to compromise the whole system, even if one part faces an attack.
That level of security architecture is impressive. But what's maybe the biggest misunderstanding people have about physical security that Merka tackles? Because most of us think, my hard drive's encrypted, I'm good, right?
That is such a common and frankly dangerous assumption. Yes, disk encryption is vital, but it only protects your data when it's cold, when the system is turned off, or maybe hibernating.
Okay.
It offers literally zero defense when your system is live and running when the data is decrypted and in memory. That's a huge gap.
Oh.
And that's exactly where Merka introduces this really unique feature. The Guardian Agent.
Guardian Agent. What does it do?
It's not just software. It uses actual physical sensors, wired tamper switches on the case, motion sensors, to constantly monitor the physical state of the hardware itself.
So it knows if someone's messing with the box.
Exactly. If someone tries to physically tamper with your system while it's live, maybe tries to open the case or even just moves it when it shouldn't be moved and the secure device is active, the Guardian Agent steps in proactively.
What does it do?
It immediately seals up all the secrets and halts critical services. It slams the door shut, basically. It closes off that critical physical attack vector that almost all personal servers just completely ignore. It makes your digital safe actually guard itself in the physical world, too.
Wow, that real-time physical defense is something else. But okay, let's consider the worst-case scenario. What if something catastrophic happens? Fire, flood, theft, the hardware is just gone. Is all that carefully protected data lost forever? Or is there a way back? This is where the passkey comes in, right?
Precisely. That's the ultimate backstop. Your passkey is your master secret, a single cryptographic key that acts as the absolute root of trust for your entire Merka setup.
The one key to rule them all.
Kind of, yeah. Think of it as the ultimate master key. From just this one secret, Merka is designed so you can derive everything else needed, all the keys, all the credentials to rebuild your entire infrastructure completely from scratch, even if every single piece of your original hardware is destroyed.
Okay, so for someone listening who isn't maybe super technical, what does it mean to have a deterministic and human survivable recovery model? How does that actually play out?
It means the recovery process is predictable, repeatable, deterministic, and the essential pieces you need to trigger it are designed to be managed by a human, not just a machine. They're survivable in that sense.
Oh, what are those pieces?
You need just 3 independent sets of data, things you control yourself. First, your passkey, that master secret. The recommendation is to store it securely, maybe in a trusted password manager like 1Password.
Okay, number 1 is the passkey.
Second, you need the secure device unseal shares. These are given to you as human-readable mnemonic phrases, lists of actual words, like a crypto wallet recovery phrase, things you can write down, store securely in different places.
Right, memorable words.
And third, you need your actual cluster backups, the ones stored on remote object storage, that offsite vault we talked about.
Got it. Passkey, unseal words, backups.
With just those 3 pieces, as the source material puts it so well, even if every device is physically destroyed, Merka can be rebuilt. And critically, there's no external company you need to call, no third party holding your keys hostage. Merka automates the whole cluster bootstrap using your passkey. This gives you a true, complete offline recovery path, which is something a lot of systems claiming to be decentralized actually lack.
That ability to rebuild from scratch is incredibly powerful. And it leads us to what feels like the ultimate value here, especially when we look at the bigger picture, the wider world. We're undeniably entering an era where digital misinformation, deepfakes, doctored documents, manipulated videos is making it harder and harder to know what's real online. It's becoming a real challenge to verify authenticity.
It's a huge problem.
So how does a system like Merka help us navigate that?
Yeah.
How does it help preserve our own sense of truth in that kind of environment?
That's a really profound question, isn't it? How do you hold on to truth when the digital landscape can feel so fabricated? Merka tackles this by enabling you to maintain your own personal ground truth.
Personal ground truth, I like that.
Yeah, it means you have the definitive local master copies of your photos, your documents, your transactions. And just as importantly, it maintains a verifiable history of the metadata associated with that data. That history is indexed and designed to be tamper evident.
So you can prove provenance?
Exactly. Think about what that gives you. In an age saturated with potential deepfakes and altered content, Merka lets you look at your own digital records, photos, documents, and say with confidence, I know precisely when and where this originated, and I have cryptographic proof it hasn't been messed with since.
Like a personal notary for your life.
In a way, yes. It's an unshakable digital record for your most important information. And as the source insightfully points out, if you can't prove where your data came from, you can't trust it later. Merka aims to give you that undeniable proof.
So connecting all these threads, if we were to sum up Merka's core value, it really sounds like cloud without permission. Is that fair?
That's a great way to put it.
You get the kind of functionality you expect from the cloud, but it's running on hardware you physically own and control. You get serious high-grade security principles applied to your personal life. You manage your own disaster recovery. You even get that live physical protection against tampering.
And crucially, zero dependency on any third party for your keys.
It's all yours, all the time. It sounds incredibly compelling.
It is,
Yeah.
and it's built this way for a very fundamental reason. Merka exists because your data, your family memories, your business records, your personal sense of truth, it deserves the same level of robust security and control that we're starting to demand, rightly so, from things like decentralized financial systems.
Yeah.
Your digital life, your history, it's just too valuable to leave to chance or, the changing terms of service of some giant corporation.
And that really is a powerful thought to leave everyone with today. In a world that seems increasingly hostile to easily verifiable truth, a system like Merka offers a tangible way to maintain proof of your own reality. So maybe mull this over. What does it truly mean to have that kind of unshakable, verifiable control over your personal digital history? What difference could that make to how you trust information, both online and off, knowing that your truth is secure and provable? Something to think about until our next deep dive.